What I gotta do to find a better way to make it? There's gotta be a better way than this. Like this. I was waiting for a better way and waiting for a better day. I waited so long that I lost my day. I was waiting, I was hating, I was pleading, I was bleeding, I was praying for something that never came. But this came. Thank you all.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was a grown man, and by then, it was nothing but blinding. Jack, we rolling? We are fucking rolling. Let me see if I can get this fucking hat on straight. You guys have no idea how long it took me to hang that fucking shirt in the background. Those of you who got that shirt, side note on the fucking shirt, those of you who got that shirt, you're the only ones that are going to get that shirt. You can go down to the merch site down below, and I'd like you to fucking do it. There's a link to it down below. I'll talk about that in a second. But that's the shirt, that thing behind you. That's the reason why you got to come out to the live events. And there's another one brewing. April 1st, April 2nd. It ain't April Fools. Seriously, we're going to have another team get together, another live Nodcast, and maybe even a fucking performance by yours truly. April 1st and 2nd, we'll get to that. Maybe I'm fucking lying. I don't know. But, yeah, those of you that got one of them, that's Pat's. I'm hanging on to that for Big Pat. But all the rest of them are fucking gone, and you had your chance. Those of you who came out to share the love on Christmas got some fucking special gear. That's why the crap that I got at the fucking show is going to be different than the stuff on the site. Ah, fuck! We're fucking rolling. Hello there, fellow fops, fashion plates, fancy dance fools and pharaohs with a ferocious fixation on farcical frippery like this fetid fiend right fucking here, like all you fetid fiends out fucking there. Welcome to Rob from Nodcast, Rob Lynn's Nodcast. This is, I'm going to call it a formal Nodcast. I know it's been a while since the last one. It's been like 10 fucking days since I dropped the last one. I was putting this one off the same way I did, the same way I put off the memorial for Jack. And the reasons for that, fix my fucking, see if I can get this straight for a change, is the reasons for that is I have been grieving Jack. And I have also, motherfucker, why don't this thing, I can never, give me a fucking second, please. Fucking thing. How do you put a fucking hat on straight? Try it this way. It's always on that side. So what am I gonna do? I gotta do this. What? Fuck this. Best I'm gonna fucking do. Fuck. No, it's not. Are you fucking serious? Are you kidding me? I've been grieving Jack. Okay. So I've been putting this off for a bunch of reasons. And I've also been grieving music. And I don't want to talk about music right now. I'm not ready to talk about it. And I'm not ready to do something half-assed about Jack. If I do something about Jack again, I'm going to give it some real thought and give it some real effort. But I'm getting on here to walk my own talk. This is one of those periods or times where I would otherwise collapse into myself and not do nothing for 2 fucking months. And, I've been trying to program my way through this. I've been trying to 12-step my way through some of the things I've been dealing with lately. And, it leads me to what happens when that doesn't work, because it's not working for me right now. And this, I'm going to see if I can tie all this together. There's a bunch of trains of thought, and I'm going to get to something fun. I swear to God, this isn't going to be a gloomy one if I can fucking help it. But what happens when you're trying to 12-step your way through something, when you're trying to program your way through something and it doesn't work? It's not helping. It's not giving you the peace or the resolution you want. That's what's been going on with me with music. I've come to all the conclusions that I need to come to. I've analyzed it and come to the conclusions I need to come to with it. And those are unavoidable and unfucking mistakable. But I'm not getting over it. I cannot overstate the fucking similarities that music and drugs, the impact and the place they occupy in my life, and the effect they have on my psyche, how similar they are, how fucking similar they are. And that's one of the things that's been giving me a lot of conflict the last like week and a half since the last video. I think it's been like 9 days since I dropped one. I don't know how many days it'll be till I drop this one, but that's since I dropped the last one. Since I'm recording it now, it's been 9 days since I dropped the last one, I think. And that's one of the things that's been fucking on my mind the entire time. I'm not getting any closure with it. Like, it's still eating me up. Okay. Does that make sense? It's still fucking eating me up. I've come to the conclusions that I need to come to. I've worked my way through that. But the toxicity hasn't left yet. I know what the solution is. I got to give it time. I got to let all of it settle. And I'm not there yet. And one of the other things that's been fucking bugging me is, I've been grieving Jack, like I said. But the music's been outshining that, because like the grief about music has been outshining that. And that bugs the fuck out of me. That makes me feel like I'm betraying Jack. I shouldn't. Music's always like this big, dark, fucking photo-negative sky over my fucking head. It's like this black hole right above me. My thoughts orbit it. They always are drawn to it. The resentment, the antagonism, and the fucking, frustration and raw hatred and shit like that. The grief for Jack has been slipping up on me like a dagger in the side from time to time. It hits me suddenly and piercingly. I finally broke down about him about a week ago. I was in a fucking fish store with my gal, and I happened to see they were selling Jack Dempsey cichlids. It's a type of cichlid. A cichlid's a type of fish, for those of you that aren't complete fucking aquarium nerds, which I'm rapidly becoming. And Jack had set up a big, beautiful fish tank in his room at some point since last Christmas. And he was showing it to me the last time I was at his house, which was like a month and a half ago, I think. It was after the October 2nd thing, but before the December 18th thing. And he was really proud of his Jack Dempsey. He had like a bunch of other fish too, Oscars and a Bashir and all this really cool shit. He had a great setup. And he just really liked the Jack Dempsey. And I suddenly saw the fish. And I saw it's a beautiful one. And it, of course, reminded me of Jack and blah, blah, blah. And those are the type of, those things sneak up on you and stick you like a fucking knife in the side. So I'm all of a sudden got tears in my fucking eyes at Petco. And those things have been happening. But the music is like this dark sun over my fucking head. I wake up thinking about it. I go to bed thinking about it. And like I said, I've come to terms with the overall conclusions I needed to reach. But I ain't over it yet. I ain't even close to fucking over it. I'm not going to get into that right now. But I want it, with where my head's been, I didn't want to do this. I had no intention of coming on here. But you know what I was thinking? I said I wanted to walk my own fucking talk. As I'm sitting there thinking, puling in my head, stewing in resentment and seething over music and shit like I always do. Like I fucking always do. For years. This is not a new thing. And it's bugging me that it's overshadowing my grief for Jack. Not like, not always. Like I said, the grief for Jack is like this sudden somebody slips up on you, cuts your fucking throat, and suddenly bleeding. But the music thing it's just this constant in my head. And it was starting to allow it to give me permission to just sort of collapse into myself. And then I said to myself, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? Like I said last week in the dedication to Jack. Jack, once again, you are there for me. You're there for me, brother, once again. Instead of puling and fucking whining in my own fucking head, because I have been up in my own fucking head, I decided I'm going to get on here and do this and walk some of the talk I spew at you guys, or otherwise I really am just a bullshit artist, and I fucking hate bullshit artists. That has been my entire fucking experience with music. It's just bullshit artists. So how fucking dare you get on this fucking thing and fucking talk? And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to get on here and see what we can fucking do. And I think I might have some fun fucking shit to talk about. Maybe we can turn the topic of music into something much more fun. I'm going to try to get to that. Before I get there, like I fucking said, okay, might have a big live Nodcast team gathering on April 2nd. The night before, I may do a live set of acoustic shit just by myself because I'm trying to strip down everything I'm doing so it's just me. So I can't fucking, so nobody else can fuck it up, and so I can't have anybody to blame but myself. Okay, that's where I'm at right now. So hopefully I'll do a little set by just me. We'll do some Blood for Blood songs. We'll do some Ramallah songs. We'll do some Sinners and Saints songs. Maybe some new songs. Maybe some covers. Maybe nothing. Who the fuck knows? The media might hit me in the fucking head tomorrow or whatever, the earth or some shit. Like I said, if and when I do talk about music, okay? If and when I do get around to actually spilling my guts about it, maybe April 2nd, maybe that'll be the fucking topic, and you can ask me anything. I'll drop some fucking dimes. I'll fill you in on all of it. But from here on in, whenever music does come up, I need you guys to know something, okay? When I spill venom, you guys are fucking excluded from it. I do not mean you people. I know you, you know me. You, everybody watching this, everybody in the group, the team, you guys shoulder this thing. You guys carry it. I know you are excluded from any cynical vitriol that might come out of my fucking mouth. However, and I'm always turning to you guys, if you're willing, hit that merch site, the Team Nodcast merch site. There'll be a link down below in the fucking text for this thing, this video, hopefully. Help out if you can for two reasons. One, I want to prove to the merch company, I told them I don't have a huge crowd, but they're psychos and they're really fanatic and they believe in this thing. Prove me right. Second, if you're somebody, now this excludes the team people, but if you're somebody that stumbled upon this video for the first time, it's the first time you're seeing me, and you are tempted to say something to the effect of, hey, Rob, your music got me through some hard times. That's awesome. I get that a lot. I love it. Makes me feel better. But I'd ask that you prove it, hitting that fucking link. Buy a sticker. Buy anything. I don't give a fuck. Buy a fucking poster. Just fucking prove it. I need it right now. You want to talk about despair with fucking music? How fucking dare you as far as letting it slow me down? But it has been a toxic stew in my fucking head. So I just wanted to say that, and worked in some little news and shit like that. I also got my iPad going at the exact same time. And I'm going to try not to pay attention to it. It'll easily distract me. It's the big UFC 270. Francis Ngannou is fighting Cyril Gane. And Brandon Moreno is fucking fighting Davison Figueiredo. I'm kind of watching with like one eye. I haven't followed MMA in a while. At least I haven't watched it. I just sort of follow the fighters because it's as cruel a sport as music is. Uses you up, throws you out. You make no money. You end up with fucking brain damage. It's just like fucking music. So I follow the sport for that reason. Plus, it's the only sport I understand. Guys trying to kick the shit out of each other. You don't think I haven't seen that before? Yeah, I've seen it. I understand it. I go, I know what that guy's trying to do. He's going to try to strangle that guy in 2 seconds. It's the only sport I understood. I tried to get into football with my brother Patrick, and I never understand what the fuck's happening. The guy runs down one time, and it's a touchdown. 2 seconds later, he does the exact same thing. The referees blow the whistle and yell at him. I'm like, ask my brother, I'm like, what the fuck? It was a point. Oh, that was offsides. He got ahead of that guy. I'm like, why? He steps in front of that guy. It's all of a sudden it ain't real. I don't understand it. Sports, I don't understand. MMA, I understand. But either way, I'm interested in this one. Because Ngannou is terrifying. He's a monster. He's not crushed the skull of everybody that he's fucking fought. I thought he killed Overeem. And Cyril Gane is actually one of the few guys I think might be able to beat him. Will he? I don't know. Cyril Gane seems like a nice guy. I'm not going to go on an MMA thing. Calm down. Calm the fuck down. Keep your shirt on. Don't leave yet. I'm not going to go on an MMA thing. But Cyril Gane has the ability. He seems like his ability to beat Ngannou. Definitely. He's actually skilled, which is rare for heavyweight. They're usually just fat guys with beer guts punching each other in the face. Woo! Memories. It's like a blood for blood show. But well, Ngannou ain't got a gut. That dude is carved out of fucking granite. But Gane seems like a nice guy. I think he could beat him. But I don't try to get invested because there's no right or wrong with might. It's just the strong wins. But I would like to see Ngannou win. Simply because that guy's story is fucking insane. That guy came from like a potash mine in fucking Cameroon. Like snuck on a ship to get to like France. Just started doing MMA like 4 years ago. And he's the champ of the world. It is one of the most incredible inspiring stories I've ever heard in my life. Plus, the dude seems like a nice guy, and I would buy tapes of that guy talking about anything because it relaxes the fuck out of me. Folks with this very, yeah, no, it's the most relaxing voice I've ever heard in my life. He crushes guys' skulls for a living, and he's like, puts me into like alpha state. So I'm kind of watching out with one eye if it starts to distract me. Let's get to this fucking thing, all right? All right. So what was the topic I wanted to get into today that I said was going to be fun instead of all of this fucking ennui and fucking darkness? Well, and one of the reasons I mentioned, if anybody new is watching this and you want to say something nice, I appreciate it, but prove it and go fucking buy a sticker or some shit, is because there was a little bit of an influx of new subscribers and viewers and commenters and stuff because I did the This Is Hardcore podcast a couple of weeks ago with Joe Hardcore. I think it came out on January 1st. It was right around the time Jack passed. I think it might have been the day he passed or the day after. And got a lot of feedback from that. And I was grateful, but it baffled me. People were like, oh, it was really interesting. I was like, that was fucking interesting? I fucking hate that. I've said it. I think I said it in the last one. I fucking detest that fucking band history shit. I think it's the most boring shit on fucking earth. Like I did talk about it. Like I said, it's like nothing I want to fucking revisit. It's the shit that I carry around all day anyway. So it's of no interest to me. I did realize though that the history, like as because I listened back once, or at least sort of scanned through it to make sure I didn't say anything too out of line. I did realize that the entire history of Blood for Blood was me picking up slack that nobody else would pick up. I didn't want to be the guy talking. I ended up talking because nobody else would talk. I didn't want to write all the music, but nobody else would do it, so I wrote all the music. I didn't want to write all the lyrics, except I got tired of the lyrics the other guys were coming up with. I didn't want to be the front man, but I didn't want to produce in the studio. I just wanted to be Slash. I wanted to be Kirk Hammett. I wanted to be fucking, I don't know, who's a guitar player? I can't think of any hardcore guitar players, and they should be forgotten. They're useless. No, I'm just kidding, guys. No, for real though, you suck. No, I'm just kidding. But like I said, I was stunned that people found that interesting. I find that sort of like blow by blow band history shit. I'll give you the real history some fucking day. Ooh boy. The reason I'm not talking about music right now, I'm avoiding it, is because I don't know what will come out of my mouth. Because as I said, I'm still incredibly emotional about it. It would be true whatever came out of my mouth, but it might not be the way I'd frame it in a more sober or reflective frame of mind. But someday I will tell the story and get out your fucking tit high fucking waiter boots, because the bullshit will fucking drown you. Someday I will do it. But normally when I'm not telling, when I'm holding back, it just bores the fuck out of me. Let's make hardcore history fun. That's my goal with this fucking episode. The history of hardcore when we were clowns. Not when we were young, when we were fucking clowns. I want to revisit some of the dumber, more embarrassing, foolish, goofy, silly trends and fads within hardcore over the years. It's a topic that endlessly amuses me because I remember all that shit. One of the reasons music's so painful to me, one of the reasons I've always been so hard on the core, is because the truth is I'm a true believer. I really believe in it. Behind all my cynicism and behind all my sardonic, juvenile fucking satire and shit, I am like the Ignatius Loyola of a dime store dying faith known as hardcore. I actually believe in it. I believe in the music. I believe in what it could be. And when it acts stupid, I fucking hate it. When it acts goofy and trendy or anything like that. So let's do some of that. History of hardcore when we were clowns. The first thing I wanted to talk about, I kind of wrote some shit down, actually. I don't usually do that. For those of you who were at the December 18th Christmas the holidays gathering, you may remember me launching into a little side tirade about one of my favorite clownish behaviors from fucking hardcore. And I've contributed to a bunch of them myself. I was one of the people that contributed to the big wide bandana on the guy on stage. I did it just because my hair turns into Art Garfunkel's or fucking Lyle Lovett's if I don't put like 2 pounds of Murray's in it. But I did contribute to that look. There's no doubt about it. Some of the other shit that I did. A lot. But I went on a tangent about MOSH-BEGGING. MOSH-BEGGING. It was one of the things that always annoyed the fuck out of me. And that'll be our first topic of this new segment, which will probably be a one and done because I'll get it all out of my system and I'll never think about it again. That's what music does for me. I call it MOSH-BEGGING, or we could call it petulance. When there's some singer, and this is going to branch off into a bunch of tangents because it relates to a bunch of other things that annoyed the fuck out of me over the fucking years in hardcore. When you're at some fucking show and there's some band you never fucking heard of, and you know, they're getting their shot and they're screaming at the audience for not dancing. We've all seen it. Don't even fucking act like you haven't fucking seen it. The fuck's up? Yo, why the fuck ain't you dancing? Yo, why aren't the fuck? Wake the fuck up, motherfucker! Yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, why ain't I dancing, bro? Because I don't fucking wanna. I know, hey, I know the video that's playing in your head. I've had those fantasies too. Kicking ass. I've actually done it. If I'm so fucking smug about it, what am I doing thinking about fucking blowing my head off over fucking music? I ain't gonna be smug. But I have had thousands of people murder each other at the sound of my fucking tunes. But here's the thing. I never begged for fucking dancing. If the audience didn't dance, I would simply insult them or make fun of them, mock them. That's a much better way to do it. In fact, it brings me back to something from the Joe Hardcore thing. I was saying how Buddha had stage fright and he wouldn't say nothing. And when I would try to approach him about it, like, bro, like you gotta be more engaging. He'd be super hostile, like I said, and like belligerent with me about fuck that. I fucking blah blah blah. I fucking dancing for them. They're there to amuse me. I'm not there to amuse them, which I thought was a perverse attitude, considering that we're all quitting our jobs. But I used to tell him, and like I said, I'm not mocking the guy. Okay, I understand it better now. I never can see past my own blinders, all right? I know now that he just had a lot of stage fright. He was great in front of audiences that he knew were into us. But if we were playing in front of a new audience or an uncertain audience, he would be shook. I understand what that is now. I'm not mocking him. The reason I didn't understand it is being on stage has never daunted me in my fucking life. Even going back to fucking high school, we had to do public declamation 5 times a year, which means we had to get up in front of the school and fucking declaim. I went to Boston Latin School. So I'm as smart as I try to pretend to be with my fucking bombastic, grandiloquent fucking vocabulary. But everybody else used to fucking dread it. I mean, everybody. They would have depression over it. They'd have like guidance counselors talk to the kids. It's like the public speaking. You had to get up and speak for like 5 minutes. I never fucking worried about that ever. It's like the least of my fucking worries. The way I always viewed being on stage, the reason I never really had any stage fright, I hope I'm not making noise. Fuck, I haven't touched this thing very much, but I saw the screen jump. Is it's on my terms. I would rather be on stage in front of 50,000 people than be in a crowd of 50 people. A crowd of 50 people, I'm as nervous as anybody. I'm completely nervous. Like social anxiety, severe panic attacks sometimes. Well, not in a long time, but back in the days, a panic attack was fucking nervous. When I'm on stage, it's on my terms. I control the engagement. Like Sun Tzu says, pick the time and place of the battle. A million victories will be yours. I found it easier because then it's on my terms. And the other thing I always used to say to myself, and I tell other bands this, if like a singer or anybody that's a performer, if they're feeling nervous, I say, look, you just take one look at that audience. You look at them, look at all their faces, and then say to yourself, what fucking jerk off in this audience has more of a right to be on stage than I do? Trust me, you'll feel better. But he'd be belligerent when I approach him about it. Fuck that. And I used to tell him, bro, then tell them that. Tell them that. That's entertaining. Like, I don't understand your attitude on this, but I like it. It's tell them that, though. My problem wasn't that he was hostile to the audience. It's that he wasn't, that wasn't what was coming off. That wasn't what he was showing to the audience. He just looked nervous. He just looked shook. He looked daunted. And we're supposed to be this like hard band and all this stuff. So that, I used to try to tell him that. I'm like, look, if you fucking tell him that, be hostile. That's something. Again, you're controlling the engagement. And that's what I would do when I'd be in front of an audience that was like, you know, cooler than thou or hardcore than thou. I'd tell them to suck my fucking dick. But the flip of that, being like daunted, is demanding. Yo, what the fuck, motherfucker? Why the fuck ain't you dancing? We've all seen it. And I always want to tap them on the shoulder and say, well, A, because we don't choose to. That's the simplest solution to your dilemma. We're not dancing because we don't want to. And if we did, we would. So perhaps, just perhaps, I'm just throwing it out there, perhaps your 4-note, down-picked, vamped chord progression is not as scintillating to us who have seen it 1,000,006 times as it is to you in your own head. I'm just throwing it out there. That might be the case. Maybe. Hell, maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Perhaps you're and for the love of God, if I hear that fucking riff again, I'm going to kill whoever does it. No, they'll probably kick the shit out of me. I'll try to kill him, and then they'll kick the shit out of me, and then it'll be funny. It'll go like, somebody will put it on YouTube. I couldn't fucking beat my way out of a wet paper bag with a gang of hardened henchmen, but I can't even beat my own meat without 6 guys. Ooh, spicy. 6 hardened henchmen to beat my meat. Yeah, the pit baggage. Sorry, I keep getting. I flipped the fucking UFC thing off. It was distracting me. That fucking enough. We've all seen it 60,000 times. I don't care if you change the tempo, okay? We've all heard it enough, and we ain't gonna dance. No! Fuck it! Fuck your fucking 4-note, dissonant, chromatic, and don't you dare call it a riff. That was another one I used to have to fucking put up with in all of my bands at one point or another, and I can't tell you how many times I had to sit through this particular exchange. I'm going to try to describe it as best I can, and anybody who's in a band, or at least anybody who's ever run a band, is going to know what the fuck they're going to be like, oh, that, yeah. Guitar players will often, and I'm a guitar player myself, but I didn't do this because I knew how much I hated it when somebody did to me, but they'll often keep playing something while you're trying to talk to them. And they do that to show that like they can do a couple, they can rock even while they're listening. And they can't. Nobody can. Playing this stupid fucking riff over and over again while I'm trying to teach them a song. And I'd be like, bro, can you stop playing for a second? I'm trying to teach you like this thing that you've been hired to do. And it's the only time you need to do it because I ain't letting you on the motherfucking album. And they, yeah. No, I'm listening. I'm like, nah, no, you're not. I can tell. They do like the casual face, like, but they'd start like concentrating too hard, and like their face would like contort up while they're staring at me because they're trying to look totally nonchalant, but they're not nonchalant. All they're concentrating on is the riff. Well, that was often a signal for me to listen to that riff. And I'm going to give you a fucking scene that has played out more times than I can fucking count. I'm trying to teach somebody some part or say, dude, you got to get this backup vocal when I go rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, rah, you got to get that. Got it? Yeah. Keep doing it no matter what I'm fucking telling until I finally reach the point where I got to, what's that you're playing? Oh, this? Just some riff that I made up, some riff. Like, well, actually it's a chromatic scale. Chromatic progression, down picked and vamped, not actually a riff, but hell, let's call it a riff. We'll call it a riff if you want. It's actually just a muted chord progression that I've heard 1,017 fucking times. But hey, riff, chord progression. Hey, let's call it a leitmotif. Let's get fucking Wagner about this. Let's fucking, yeah, we'll call it. So, so that's a riff you got going on there, huh? You got any drum ideas for it? No. Got any vocals? No. Got anything else to go with it at all? No, I just thought it was pretty cool though. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have finished songs and they're totally done. And I need you to work on them because we got a fucking show in 3 fucking weeks. And mine are all worked out. Unless you think that sudden jun, 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 goes in one of these completed songs you already heard, I'd appreciate it if you would just turn your motherfucking guitar off until we're done doing what I need you to do, which is the one thing I need you to do, because I don't need you for nothing else except to stand there on fucking stage. I'm listening. That shit drove me fucking nuts. So, guys, with your band, you can get into it. The best way to get into it, if you know what? We'll turn this into hardcore tips too. The best way to get into it, get the audience into it, is for you to get into it. Don't overdo it. Don't go like at the drive-in, like helicopter, and you get, well, no, maybe sometimes that works. Sometimes that works. You got to get into it. You know who handled this better than anybody I've ever seen, actually? Who never did the, yo, why aren't you motherfuckers dancing? What the fuck? Oh, I could tell you about a band I saw at the Pipeline in New Jersey. They were the second worst band I've ever seen in my life. The guy hit the stage hanging his arm. This was during the when we were GANGSTAH, the GANGSTAH phase of I remember their name too. I could say it. Nobody's gonna remember them. I only saw them that once. But yo, he hit and he left his arm up, but nobody was dancing. He hit, like the band started playing. He didn't even come on. He thought he was gonna take the stage like Axl Rose, like late, like he had his hand up. Yo, jump, 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 jump. Nobody jumped. Nobody did nothing. Everybody stood there and stared at him as well they should have. And he couldn't put the arm down. But boy, it got heavy as nobody was dancing. Yo, it's motherfuckers out like you motherfuckers dancing. The arm got heavier and heavier until it was just sort of like this. Yeah, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Get into it and other people will get into it. Or say funny things. Make them fucking laugh. Don't get up there and talk about the hardcore and I love a hardcore. And if it wasn't for hardcore, I wouldn't be playing hardcore today. Don't bore me! I paid money for this shit. Well, not in a long time, but you get what I'm saying. One of the best guys, I remember on that, Blood for Blood was on tour with Earth Crisis, Madball, Scarhead, One King Down, or at least they were on the West Coast. But we ended up playing somewhere between like Reno and Salt Lake City. I honestly don't remember where. And the audience was so fucking stuck up, and they were like standing there, like not knowing what to do, even though this is like a small town, but like they were the shit, like they were like the epicenter of fucking hardcore. And we of course on that tour were partying every night. But Ezek with Scarhead, he was like jumping around and shit, and they weren't getting into it. And rather than like yelling, or he wasn't like, he was just, he could tell the audience wasn't into it, but he said to them, look, he said, it's hard for us to get into it when you guys are just standing there and looking at us. It kind of kills the whole thing. You want us to get into it, you got to get into it too. And it got a reaction. And that was one of the best ways I've ever seen anybody fucking do that. He actually broke for a second and just told them straight out, like, look, it's hard for us to get into this and put on a show for you if you're going to stand there and look at us. We feed off you, you feed off us. This is a thing. And they got into it as much as they could. Like I said, it was like a town full of nerds. But I was like, dude, that's a good way to do it. I didn't do it that way. I would be like, what do you think? You're fucking cool? I'm like, all right, we're done. See you later. Bye. It's fucking 4 songs. I don't care. We're getting paid anyway. So the mosh-begging dovetails into another phenomenon directly akin to it. And this into another one. I'm going to try to keep this to, I'm already at a fucking half an hour. All right, I'm going to wrap this up soon if I can. The other thing that drove me nuts, here's where topic 2, from petulance and mosh begging, we go to the impromptu hardcore festival. And I fucking hated this one more than anything because I was a fucking huge drinker. I was a booze bag back in the day. Or a little later on, I was fucking smacked up. So the impromptu hardcore festival, we've all been, I think maybe this has changed. I don't know. But this was a thing for fucking years. There'd be like 5 to 7 to 10 fucking bands on the show, which was already too much. And I'm going to tell you something. This one was such a fucking pain in the ass to me that as soon as Blood for Blood and then Ramallah got a booking agent enough to dictate our own terms and have contracts, one of the few things we fucking asked for other than whiskey and a couple of cases of beer was we actually added a codicil in the contract that said it can only be the tour package and at most 2 local openers. We wanted to give the local bands a shot, okay? We always tried to bring out bands that we were into whenever we could. There was only a brief period where we had the clout to do that, and then we broke up. We wanted to give local bands a shot, but it would be written in there. But that's it. No having their friends up. The Impromptu Hardcore Festival is when 27 bands you don't know hand off their instruments halfway through their set to their friends' bands, who then get up there and play 29 fucking songs and then hand their guitar off to some other friends' bands who get up and play another 27 fucking songs. Not only is this onerous as fuck, even if you like a hardcore band, one of the things I learned from Sheer Terror, who always, they had the most savage reaction until Blood for Blood. And Blood for Blood, like, I'm not saying we upstaged them. It's just Sheer Terror was done by them. We kind of took their torch for like the really off the hook violent shows. But they would play 6 songs at most. And if Paulie was really into it, maybe 10 songs. But that was fucking it. And I learned something from that. Hit them with your best and get off. It's like giving somebody a demo of your music. You give them at most your 3 best songs. You give them at most your 3 best fucking songs. And you don't watch them. That's another one. Shit, I'll get to that. Don't watch them while you don't stand there and watch somebody while they're listening to your demo. Okay? The Japanese have this thing. When you give somebody a birthday present or Christmas present or whatever present in Japan, they never open it in front of you, nor does anybody expect them to. They take the presents, they say thanks, and then they open it later when you ain't around. That way, if they don't like it, they don't make you feel like a jerk, and they don't feel like a jerk for not liking it. You know how many times I had to sit in a van while somebody played me their demo after telling me that I'm going to love it more than Slayer or Typo Negative or whatever else I was into? Yo, you're going to love this. And they'd watch me while I was listening. Now, I want to be in the van anyway. When I'm in the van, I just want to be reading Lord of the Rings and maybe getting high back when I was using drugs. And now I just want to be reading Lord of the Rings. But they'd watch your face like a chicken pecking tears off your fucking cheeks for every reaction. And then you got the smile and the sweat breaks out. Like, you like it, right? You're a great dude, bro. I'll see you later. That applies for the live show, too. And one of the reasons I hated this more than anything, not only was the fact that it'd be 1,000 bands that all sounded exactly the same, and I wouldn't be able to differentiate, to even be using the same gear and sounds, but I drank. So we wouldn't end up getting on stage until like 3 in the fucking morning, and I would be obliterated out of my fucking mind. I wouldn't even be able to find the fretboard. Be fucking screaming into somebody's fucking ice cream cone, sitting there licking ice cream cone. I think it was the fucking microphone. I'd be so fucking snookered out of my fucking mind. So one of the first things it drove me nuts. If you are going to hand off to your friends, tell them they can play 2 fucking songs. Trust me. It goes back to mosh-begging. Oh, if they didn't dance for the fucking 19th song, they'll definitely dance for the 32nd. I just know it in my heart. No, it ain't going to happen. Hit them with your hottest shit. Get the fuck off. If they like it, they'll remember it and want more. If not, even if it's really good, what I was trying to get to a second ago was even the best hardcore bands, the stuff starts to drone if there's not a lot of variation. It's impact-oriented music. Hit them hard, fast, get the fuck done. The same tempos can't have the same impact over and over again. If it's going on too long, it's impact-oriented music. You got to hit them hard and get the fuck off, or have really varied sounds and shit like that. But that was one of the first things we fucking put in our contract. The only thing we put in our contract, other than the whiskey and the beer and the vodka, was no more than 1 or 2 local openers and no extra fucking bands playing on their fucking sets, because I'd have alcohol poisoning by the time these bands, 30 bands, got done playing their 37 and a half fucking songs. Christ, you trying to fucking kill me? I mean, you're going to kill me anyway with the over and over again. And I don't care if you put a big... It's still... I've heard it before. Just like that goddamn corn song. Do-doon, 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 do-doon. Ooh, ah, 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 boom-doon, boom, pa, boom, 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 boom. Do you know how many times I heard that riff before Korn did it? Korn did it right. They did a real down-tuned, and they were interesting. I hate Korn, but they at least were interesting sonically. But that riff, do-doon, 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 don't do that either. Unless you're going to grow dreadlocks and fucking dye them black and do a Korn cover band. Don't do that. There's nothing you can do with it. Don't fucking do it. Just fucking telling you. And don't do it 28 times. You're going to suffocate my fucking will to live with the fucking bad shit anyway. And then I'm going to have alcohol. Well, I'm not going to have alcohol poisoning anymore. I don't drink anymore. But that was another one, the impromptu hardcore festival. And then we'll wrap this up with my last one for now, which is similar to both of these. They're kind of tied together, at least the first one. It all starts with mosh-begging. And what is mosh-begging and petulance? It's a presumption from the audience that you are worth something, that you can demand something from them. This other one is the hardcore straw man. You guys know in rhetoric and declamation and shit like that, debating, straw man. It's when you set up a fictional argument to attack and destroy that's not the actual argument that the person was making. I'm not going to think of an example. I didn't really think this through. I just jotted some notes down. But it's like attacking a fake enemy that's not there, that's not real. It's like inventing something that you can defeat, that you're already prepared to defeat. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit tactic. Happens all the time online these days, too. Definition of modern rhetoric. I'm not going to go on a side trip here, but that's why social media is the devil, and you shouldn't go on it. Americans are not equipped to deal with what were once considered basic logical fallacies like slippery slope, reductio ad absurdum, ignoratio elenchi, straw men, gish galloping, and that's all the rhetoric we see in this country online. And not only any of those things are supposed to raise red flags. You're supposed to immediately go, I think this guy's full of shit. We don't even do that. We run at it like, yeah, tell me more. Bullshit me even more. Either way, the hardcore straw man is when you invent some fictional enemy in the crowd and then harangue them and act tough with them or scream at them like you're doing battle with them. One of the best examples I ever saw of this was I was seeing Social Distortion for the first time at Avalon. It was on the White Light, White Heat, White Trash tour. I was a fucking huge Social Distortion fan at this point. I still am. I love their music. But this did change. What I'm about to tell you changed my feelings towards Mike Ness a bit. And it's ironic because I met him later that night. And that was one of the last times I was starstruck. I was legit starstruck. Buddha made a complete ass out of himself, and he was mad about it after. I'm not going to tell that. He was drunk. I mean, I was shit-faced out of my fucking mind, too. I just had the presence of mind to be a little more reserved. I'm not going to tell that story, but I am going to tell the story of what he did on stage. All of a sudden, in between a song, Mike Ness is going, who the fuck you flipping off, motherfucker? It's like, I'll fucking, why don't you meet me around the side? We'll fucking handle this man-to-man or something. He's basically fighting with somebody in the audience that supposedly spit at him or told him, like, flip them off. Flip me up, motherfucker. Meet me around the side after the show and I'll make you my dogs, bitch. And I'm like, ooh, Mike's sassy. I'm like, this is fucking badass. But while he's going through this routine, right, Keith, he was Ramala's bass player. He's in Wrecking Crew. He's in a bunch of bands. Sidles up to me. This is like 10 years before Ramala. At this point, Keith was just one of the other hardcore people from the scene. He was doing security at the show that night. He's actually the one that let us in to meet Mike later. And I'll tell you the Chuck Biscuit story. That was funny. I met Chuck Biscuits and he hates my guts. Keith sidles up to me, and while Mike's doing this, having this argument with this, turns out imaginary person in the crowd, Keith's right next to me, and he's talking along with Mike. He's moving his mouth, and I noticed that what Keith's saying is exactly what Mike's saying. Keith's talking along with Mike exactly. And after the whole little fake fight with the fake imaginary person in the audience that he threatens to beat up and acts like a hard guy with, but there wasn't actually somebody doing that. It was bullshit. I said to Keith, this is how I found this was true. I said to Keith, how the fuck do you know what he was going to say? How the fuck do you know he was going to have an argument with that guy in the audience? And Keith says, he's been having that argument with that imaginary guy in the audience since 1982. He's like, he does that at every other show. I think he doesn't do it every night, so there's not like an immediate like trail AB. He's like, but he does that like one out of 3 times I've seen it. And let me tell you, Keith, to the word, got this. To the word, like he had, it was the exact same thing. Like Keith knew it before he said it. That's a hardcore straw man. Another big one for that was Evan from Biohazard. He would always, and this was especially ridiculous in fucking Boston. He would always scream at Nazis that weren't there. The fuck with your power. Yo, fuck you. Fucking fuck your power, motherfucker. Everybody in Boston would be like looking around like, who the fuck is he talking to? Boston beat the fuck out of the Nazis 10 years ago. The reason there's no Nazis here is because of the very people that you're yelling at and accusing of being fucking power and Nazis. It used to drive me fucking nuts. I'm like, stop yelling at me. I'm like, you see a swastika on my fucking forehead? We hate those guys. We don't fucking, what the fuck, if we fight them out? Who are you yelling at? Who's these imaginary fucking power dudes you're fucking screaming at? Do it when they're actually there. That takes balls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you yelling at in Boston? There's no fucking power here. Boston hardcore, you show up flying that shit at a fucking Boston hardcore show, you're getting... Like, who the fuck is this guy fucking yelling at? It's funny, too, because that leads me into another topic we'll get into later, which was the GANGSTAH days, which I just remember watching Evan on stage with me and Buddha went to go see and the other Blood for Blood guys at the time, the drummer, and with a couple of other people too. We went to see Biohazard and Sepultura with Pantera at like Great Woods, and I had noticed it in videos. And this is an whole other topic that I'm not going to get into. We'll get into it later. Maybe I got the time. This is getting long, though. This is already almost a fucking hour. Even in the videos, but on stage, he would do it. But I would really notice it when he came out to sing with Sepultura a couple of times. He came out to sing with them. And he would do that fucking, like that fucking, yo, that fucking arm thing he used to do. Fair enough. That was like that was like one of the fads of the day, was that motherfucker, yeah, motherfucker, the hand thing. That infected everything. You guys don't even fucking know. I remember when the guy from Fear Factory was suddenly, wearing like a White Sox hat and doing like shit like this. Like, I'm like, you guys are like the ultimate death metal band. Like the first time I saw you, you had dreadlocks down to your fucking knees, and I could smell you from like 100 feet away. Like you were like a crust punk dude, and now you're doing this. I used to call it the hand stacking thing, where they're like doing like the bounce. And even like Entombed, who I love. I fucking love Entombed. But on the back of the albums, like they were suddenly wearing black hats with like Old English on them. Or like, White Sox hats like Eazy-E with like big Ray-Ban sunglasses, and they were holding guns. I was like, will you guys slow the fuck down? What? You guys are Entombed. Like, you're Swedish death metal dudes. They're awesome. I fucking love Entombed. I rip them off all the time. The song Ramallah, that's fucking Wolverine Blues, for Christ's sakes. I've ripped off Entombed like 1,000 times. I love them. But that fucking look didn't age well. You're like nerdy fucking like Swedish high-top sneaker-wearing Dungeons & Dragons guys. Like, don't go through the gangster phase. It's fucking nerdy as fuck. Well, I noticed when the original fucking goofball gangster Evan would come out and sing along with Max Cavalera, when he would do it like really like spastic. I'm like, why? And I said to Buddha casually, I'm like, why does he do that yo fucking thing so spastic? And Buddha, without missing a beat, was like, he's flexing. He's trying to show us his man tits. I was like, holy fuck, that's it. That's it. Because he was really like, it was like really like robotic and like, he was trying to flex his man boobies. He was like trying to like, like when you're flexing and everything's like kind of spastic. I was like, oh, boom, roasted, motherfucker. I got to. I'll hit you with one more before I go. And so that's it. That's some fucking hardcore foolishness for you. I hope this lightened the fucking mood. Maybe we'll do this again because there's endless fucking when we were clown shit from fucking hardcore. My love to you all. Come to the April 2nd. And first thing, start planning now. If you got it in your heart, please go to the merch site down below. Grab yourself some shit. Oh, and last thing about that. I need it. I need not the money. I mean, I need the money anyway, I guess. But I need the boost. I need to know you actually mean it, motherfuckers. And I'm not talking about the team. I know who you are. I see you. You see me. But what was I gonna fucking? I just lost my fucking train of thought. It was something about the motherfucking. Was it merch related? Balls. Well, yeah, I'll let it fucking go. If I think of it, I'll add something else. My love to you all. Oh, I lost it. Fuck. See you later, guy.